So welcome back. Yes, Bacho, let's get started. We start today with the effects of autonomic nervous system. Yes, Yani, we are going to learn the effect of sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system on the specific body organs. For example, effect of sympathetic nervous system on heart and effect of parasympathetic on heart. So likewise, we will study on the heart, blood vessel, your GI tract, gallbladder, urinary bladder, pupil of eye, glandular secretion, lacrimal secretion, and erector of eye. Means different body parts which are very important. Means very important for your not your purpose. It's for Neet purpose, right? So effect of sympathetic and effect of parasympathetic nervous system we are going to learn. तो जस्ट एक टेबल बना लेते हैं तो थोड़ा सा समझेंगे या फिर आप वन बाय वन ही समझ सकते हैं, बहुत इजी है. चलो, फर्स्ट इज टॉपिक इज योर इफेक्ट ऑफ ऑटोनोमिक नर्वस सिस्टम. सी effects of autonomic nervous system. Fine. So taking one example, first example of heart. हार्ट से स्टार्ट करते हैं. See, heart, if sympathetic nervous system working on it means informations or impulses coming from sympathetic, they will accelerate the heart. That will accelerate the heartbeat. We can
heartbeat will increase, and if parasympathetic, then heartbeat will decrease.
Bilkul, definitely. So we can write sympathetic one, sympathetic system या sympathetic nervous system, ठीक है, sympathetic system, accelerate heartbeat. It accelerates heartbeat. Heartbeat will increase in case of sympathetic, and in case of parasympathetic, it will decreased, retard, reduced. Yes, bache. It's the same chapter. Parasympathetic. So parasympathetic system decreases heartbeat. What it do? It decreases heartbeat or retard heartbeat, we can say. Retard it. राइट, ये आपको पॉइंट याद होना चाहिए हमेशा कि हार्ट का इफेक्ट, हार्ट पे इफेक्ट सिंपैथेटिक एंड पैरासिम्पैथेटिक का क्या इफेक्ट है. मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट, दैट इज टेकिंग द नेक्स्ट, दैट इज ब्लड वेसल्स भी देख लीजिए. इन केस ऑफ ब्लड वेसल्स, व्हाट इज द इफेक्ट ऑफ sympathetic and parasympathetic on the blood vessels? So we have blood vessels. If we're considering this blood vessel, right, what is the effect on the what is the effect of sympathetic on it? So we can say sympathetic constrict the blood vessels. So sympathetic one constrict the blood vessels. Sympathetic nervous system, what it do? Constrict, reduce the diameter, constrict all blood vessels. It constricts all blood vessels. So when blood vessels the diameter reduces, that means, ठीक है, except one exception is here, that is your coronary vessels. Except coronary means associated with the heart. Coronary vessels. राइट। ये क्या करती है, कोरोनरी वेसल्स विच डायलीट, ये डायलेट करती है, विच डायलेट। तो सिंपली अगर ब्लड वेसल कॉन्स्ट्रिक्ट होंगी तो ब्लड प्रेशर का क्या इफेक्ट होगा, द ब्लड प्रेशर विल इंक्रीज। तो सिंपैथेटिक नर्वस सिस्टम इंक्रीजेस ब्लड प्रेशर बाय reducing the diameter of the blood vessel except the coronary blood vessel. What are coronary? These are the blood vessels which are supplying blood to the yes, hearts, muscles, cardiac muscle itself. So what about parasympathetic? Parasympathetic nervous system, basically we can say it just opposite to it, means what the sympathetic do, it will opposite, antagonist to it, that means it will dilate all blood vessels, again same, except coronary, right, except coronary blood vessels. So when it dilate all blood vessels, basically, so what it do exactly, it will reduce the blood pressure, so this is second point. Now moving to the next part, branchial muscles and bronchiole. What is the effect of the sympathetic and parasympathetic on the branchial muscles and bronchioles? Branchial muscles and bronchioles. What is the effect of right, sympathetic and parasympathetic on it? So first start with the sympathetic one. We know that sympathetic will causes the relaxation of these bronchioles exactly. It causes bronchodilation. So sympathetic sympathetic nervous system dilate, or we call this dilation of bronchioles, or simply cause it relaxation. We can easily call it relaxation, right, of bronchioles. But what about the parasympathetic? Just opposite to it, just antagonistic in case of parasympathetic.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, when dilation of bronchioles occurs, so alveoli are expanded.
एल्वुलाई पे इफेक्ट नहीं है अभी इसका, है ना, एल्वुलाई पे मसल्स नहीं है, वी डोंट हैव मसल्स ऑन एल्वुलाई, राइट. So alveoli are dilated or constricted, is not in the control of your autonomic system. They are dilated or constricted. They are actually, their surface areas increase with the help of lecithin. So they are balloon-like structure. They don't have such kind of structure. They don't have muscles, right, on the alveoli, right. So bronchiole muscles हैं, bronchioles they have muscles. So again they will contract, they will relax depending on the which nervous system, which kind of information is coming to that, right. So that is the reason. But in our lungs, alveoli, we are talking about alveoli, they are the smooth, they are very balloon-like structure. They don't have any kind of muscles. So that's why they don't have, means overall, if overall lung size increases, right, overall size of lung increases, expansion, then it causes expansion, right, because of the air present in them. They create pressure inside them, and the alveoli, they will expand. And constriction, when the overall pressure create on the lungs, right, size of thoracic cavity decreases, it will create pressure on the alveoli, so they will constrict. Just like balloon, आप पुश कर रहे हो balloon को तो constrict कर रहा है, और वो आप स्पेस दे रहे हो, हवा भर रहे हो तो वो एक्सपेंड कर रहा है. तो parasympathetic, in case of parasympathetic one, it causes what? It causes just opposite to it, that means contraction, or we can say bronchocontraction. bronchio या broncho contraction, constriction, right? Is this point clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
taking,
sir.
yes, very
Extremely.
good. Taking the next one,
Sir,
gastrointestinal, yeah.
sir, what is like I was asking, what is the effect of this expansion and contraction of bronchiole?
Bronchioles, yeah. Bronchioles is the pathway. It's a pathway through which air enters into the lung alveoli. It reaches to there, right? So when more and more space is there, just like where you live, where exactly reside, that means you are living in a particular space. As say, I'm living in Noida. So Noida एक place हो गया. तो Noida आने वाला जो रास्ता है, the pathway which is coming to Noida, if it is narrow, then what will happen? It will there will very few people come to Noida because it will take
Traffic
lots
jam.
of time. So there again same, if we have narrow pathway, that means bronchial diameter is reduced, constricted, then very few amount or very less amount of air will reach to the lung alveoli. And if it is dilated, that means more and more amount of air, more and more amount of air which is coming from outside can reach to the alveoli and cause expansion, create the pressure on the alveoli. Okay? So that is the effect on it. See, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, gastrointestinal. Yeah, that means your intestine, right? Gastrointestinal tract. When it contract and when it relax. When we talk about the effect of which one? Sympathetic one. Sympathetic nervous system or sympathetic stimuli from the sympathetic one, it will cause exactly it will definitely cause or inhibit the or we can say constriction of the sphincter exactly. So movement is inhibited under the
Yes,
influence of
sir.
sympathetic nerve.
Bolus can't move inside stomach.
Yeah, so sympathetic nervous system causes what? It causes movement, or we can say movement is inhibited under influence of this
Yes, sir.
movement.
It restricts the movement of bolus.
Yes, definitely. Movement, move, ment, this is n. Movement is inhibited, or we can say sphincter is constructed. Sphincter, you know, people, that is the pathway में जो block होता है exactly, bulb wall like structure है ना, gastro esophagus sphincter, pyrolic sphincter, so we have different sphincter here. So sphincters constructed that prevent the movement. But just opposing to it, we have parasympathetic one, parasympathetic nervous system. Just they do just oppose to it, means they just what you call because increase the movement. They facilitate the movement. So movement is increased. Movement is increased. And if what about the sphincter get relaxed. That is a major cause. Sphincters relaxed. Right. Now moving to the next part, gallbladder. What is the effect of it on gallbladder? What is the function of gallbladder? Yes.
Sir, gallbladder, sir, it stores bile juice which is formed by that
Bilkul right. Which is
hepatic
produced,
cells.
yeah, which is produced by the your liver, right?
Yes,
That
sir.
is stored here. So gallbladder is in under the influence of sympathetic one.
Sphincter of Oddi.
Yeah, sympathetic nervous system. It causes means under the influence of sympathetic one, it causes increased movement, right? Gallbladder movement बढ़ेगा. That is sphincter is relaxed here again, or again just opposite to it. So means gallbladder में जो functioning है, storing है, that is increased in case of sympathetic one. So movements increased, and we can say sphincter relaxed. Sphincters relax, very important. And we talk about the opposite case, that is parasympathetic one. Parasympathetic nervous system. What they do exactly? They are responsible just opposing to sympathetic one. That means, yeah, movement inhibited, right?
Yes, sir.
And sphincter condition क्या होगा इसमें? And sphincter is constricted. Sphincter constricted. Done. So this is all about case में. Now moving to the next part, that is taking the example of urinary bladder. What will be the effect on the urinary bladder? So they taking this, considering this urinary bladder, which is very important. Urinary bladder. What is the function of urinary bladder?
Sir, to release urine.
No, not release.
It stores.
हाँ, store कहेंगे ना?
Stores urine, then it releases.
Right. When it contract, it causes release. The major function of this urinary bladder is to store the urine, which is coming from the kidney. So under the influence of sympathetic nervous system, what it causes to here, it causes basically relaxation of muscles and sphincter constricted. So what will affect on it? If you are simply, we can say relaxation of muscles takes place. Smooth muscles of the, we are talking about smooth muscles of relaxation of muscles of urinary bladder, right? And sphincter are constricted. Sphincter constricted. So what is the effect of what its effect on the urine output? Means urine का condition क्या होगा? It is increased, decreased, or what happened? Yes, agar sympathetic nervous system is working and cause relaxation of urinary bladder muscles and sphincters are constricted, that means urinary sphincter, urethral sphincter, we are talking about urethral sphincter. If maturation takes place, yes, you will tell me. सोचो और बताओ. In case of parasympathetic one,
sir, will not take place.
Yes, definitely. So parasympathetic, in case of parasympathetic nervous system, यहाँ हम लिख देंगे what? Maturation will not take place. No maturation. Writing here. No release of urine. That means. Okay. So just opposing to it, constriction of muscles takes place, contraction of muscles, right? And what? Sphincter. What was sphincter? Sphincter will relaxed. Sphincter relaxes, and when the relaxes, what happened? Release of urine.
Maturation.
So this is about urinary bladder. Taking one more example, one more part, that is pupil of eye. जानते pupil of eye? जब pupil of eye का diameter increase होता है, when the diameter of pupil of eye is increased, more
Yes,
and more
sir.
light.
Striated muscles contract or relax.
तो see here, pupil of eye. जब आपको डर लगता है ना, when you get feared, then in this case your diameter of pupil of eye is increased or diameter increase. आपकी आंखें बड़ी बड़ी होती हैं, pupil diameter increase हो जाता है साथ साथ. तो pupil of eye का इफेक्ट देखते हैं on with the help of your sympathetic and parasympathetic. In case of sympathetic one, nervous system, what happens? It causes dilation of pupil of eye. Dilation. More and more light will enter into the eye. In case of just opposite to it, parasympathetic nervous system, it will cause, yes, constriction. Constriction of pupil of eye. That means diameter will decrease, less amount of eye and less amount of light will enter into it. तो जब आप लाइट में जाते हो, अभी जैसे बाहर बहुत सनलाइट है, तो क्या होगा? डायलेशन इंक्रीज, डायलेशन होगा आई का, पिपिल का, या रिडक्शन होगा? यस, टेल मी. व्हेन यू गो इनटू ब्राइट लाइट, इज देयर डायलेशन और कंस्ट्रिक्शन ऑफ द pupil takes place? What do you say? Remember, when we move outside in bright light, there would cause constriction of pupil of eye. That means the diameter will reduce, so that less amount of
Yes, sir.
sunlight will enter into it. And when we go to or enter into a dark room, then it causes dilation. So it is in the control of your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system autonomously. You cannot think about it. It's autonomous process. Now, pupil of eye done. Moving to the next part, that is glandular secretion, which is very important again. Glandular secretion. Various glands. See, in case of sympathetic one, what happened? It causes stimulation of sweat gland, scanty, right? Sweat accenties, except stimulation of sweat gland, and in case of parasympathetic, inhibition of sweat gland. When sweat gland is when sweat gland is stimulated, that means it causes perspiration, sweating, right? तो glandular secretion increase होता है. तो sympathetic nervous system causes what? Stimulation of. It causes stimulation of what? Sweat gland. Right. And what about your this one? Sympathetic, your parasympathetic case? Just opposite. It causes what? Inhibition. Inhibition of sweat gland. Right. So the next case, so when perspiration takes place under the influence of sympathetic or parasympathetic, when perspiration takes place, sweating, yes बच्चों, perspiration takes place and sweating takes place in the under the influence of sympathetic nervous system, right? तो So when you more and more perspiring, when you more and more sweat gland is secreting this factor, that means your sweat exactly under the influence of sympathetic one, stimulated by the sympathetic nervous system. Moving to one more gland, that is your lacrimal gland. What is lacrimal gland? Yes, bacha. Lacrimal. What is lacrimal gland? किससे एसोसिएटेड है? बहुत इजी है यार, सोचो सोचो, सोच के बताओ लैक्राइमल ग्लैंड क्या करता है, व्हाट इज फंक्शन? एनी आइडिया? नो? जब आपको डांट पड़ती है, सर इज प्यूपिट एक्सोक्राइन ग्लैंड, प्यूपिट या प्यूपिल, which is talking about exocrine? It's exocrine, it's fine, it's exocrine gland, it's not secreting hormone, it's secreting serous, basically the tear, so it's exocrine. So lacrimal gland secrete tear, exactly. So lacrimal gland secrete tears. Sympathetic one, under the influence of sympathetic nervous system, what happened? Lacrimal gland are stimulated. So stimulated means lacrimal secretion, that means tear secreted, right? Tears secreted. आप रोने लग जाओगे, you will cry when your parasympathetic is stimulated. Parasympathetic one, when it is secreting the or simply sending the information, what will happen? It will cause inhibition of the secretion. Inhibition of secretion from tear gland या lacrimal gland. अब आपके आंसू नहीं आएंगे. The next one is the last one also, erector pili muscle of skin. What are these? Erector pili muscle. किसी को आइडिया है? What are erector pili muscle? What they cause exactly? Where they are located? Erector pili muscles of skin. Yes बच्चों, any idea? डर लगता है जब आपको, तो when you get feared, in that case your जो hairs होते हैं स्किन के ऊपर, वो क्या करते हैं? खड़े हो जाते हैं, erect कर जाते हैं. That is due to erector pili muscles. जब ये आपको डर लगेगा उस टाइम पर, तो it causes stimulation. So sympathetic nervous system causes, or it causes stimulated, means it is stimulate contraction, it stimulate contraction of erector pili muscles. अब कॉन्ट्रैक्शन होगा इरेक्टर प्लाई मसल्स का, तो क्या होगा एग्जैक्टली? आपके जो हेयर्स हैं वो इरेक्ट हो जाएंगे, राइट? द सेकंड केस, आपको कभी लगता है कि आपके हेयर्स जो है हैंड्स पर, आपके मेजरली हैंड्स के आपको फील होते हैं, बाकी तो आप फील नहीं कर पाओगे, तो दे विल जस्ट इरेक्ट. क्यों? बिकॉज ऑफ द कॉन्स्ट्रिक्शन ऑफ इरेक्टर पिलाई मसल्स अंडर द इन्फ्लुएंस सिंपैथेटिक नर्वस सिस्टम. एंड जस्ट अपोजिंग टू इट, पैरासिम्पैथेटिक nervous system, it causes relaxation of them. It causes relaxation of erector apply muscles. It causes relaxation of erector apply muscle, right? So आपके hair stand पे erect नहीं होंगे, they will just lying down. So this is function of sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system on your various body parts. Now I will take some defects on nervous system now. Is this point clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Betsy.
Yes.
Perfect. Taking the next one, next topic, that is defects of nervous system. What are the different defects which you face? Number one, a person face. First one is ataxia. Ataxia is lack of muscle coordination due to damage of cerebellum. I will take one example. Ataxia means term ataxia. It's not very common. Ataxia. What happened due to this condition? It causes basically a lack of muscle coordination. It is due to lack of muscle coordination, right? Due to lack of muscle coordination. And why this lack of muscle coordination? Due to, reason is damage to cerebellum. Damage of cerebellum. And what is cerebellum? Cerebellum is the hindbrain portion. If it is damaged, it causes ataxia. Making one more example, one more defect here, that is dyslexia. नाम तो सुना ही होगा, dyslexia. सुना है बच्चों dyslexia?
Yes, sir.
क्या था केस ये?
सर चिल्ड्रन बहुत abnormally behave करते हैं सर.
हाँ, तो एग्जैक्टली कोई मूवी बनी थी इस पर, क्या था वो बताए?
तारे जमीन पर.
हाँ जी, बिल्कुल राइट है, तारे जमीन पर. उस बच्चे को डिसलेक्सिया ही था. ठीक है, उसमें क्या होता है, पर्सन इज द पर्सन्स लॉस इनएबिलिटी है पर्सन का टू कॉम्प्रीहेंड रिटन लैंग्वेज. जो अल्फाबेट लिखे होते हैं बोर्ड पर या कहीं भी लिखे हुए हैं, उसको कॉम्प्रीहेंड नहीं कर पाएगा. द पर्सन कैन नॉट कॉम्प्रीहेंड, अंडरस्टैंड नहीं कर पाएगा, उसको उल्टे पुल्टे नजर आएंगे. तो इट इज डिसलेक्सिया. तो हम लेंगे इनएबिलिटी ऑफ पर्सन. इट्स अ इनएबिलिटी ऑफ पर्सन to comprehend right written languages. अब जैसे मैं लिख रहा हूं आपके सामने, अगर आपको ये मेरे अल्फाबेट्स जो हैं प्रॉपर समझ नहीं आ रहे, सर लिख क्या रहे हो आप, है ना, और ये आपको अल्फाबेट्स ही नजर नहीं आ रहे प्रॉपर, मतलब इट्स नॉट, यू कैन नॉट कॉम्प्रीहेंड देम प्रॉपर्ली. आपको लग रहा है कुछ भी सर कहीं भी कोई वर्ड जा रहा है आपके अकॉर्डिंग, तो दिस इज योर डिसलेक्सिया कंडीशन आ जाती है उस केस में. दिस इज नर्वस डिसऑर्डर बेसिकली. अच्छा, एक वर्ड और सीजोफ्रेनिया. ये बहुत कॉमन सुनने में आता है. क्या होता है बच्चों सीजोफ्रेनिया? नाम सुनाइए, आपने काफी सुना होगा नाम ये सीजोफ्रेनिया. सीजो, SCHIZO, schizophrenia, PHRENIA. Yeah. Any idea about it? Schizophrenia. कभी सुना तो होगा यार, ऐसा नहीं है. वर्ड आपका कॉमन है, बहुत कॉमन है ये वर्ड. एक्सेस से सिक्रीशन होने लगता है डोपामीन का. तो मैं तो एक कंडीशन बता दूं, इस कंडीशन होता क्या है यार. थॉट्स एबनॉर्मल आते हैं, एबनॉर्मल बॉडी पोस्चर हो जाता है, काफी डर लगता है, इंटेंस फियर, और सबसे बड़ी बात अनरियल फीलिंग्स, मीनिंग आपको कोई चीज ऐसी नहीं होती जो आपको फील, मतलब ऐसी थिंग्स मींस अनरियल चीजों से आपको डर लगने लगता है, ऐसी चीजें जो आपको रियलिटी में है नहीं उनका डर आपको है। तो आई विल टेल सम टीवी।
तो थिंकिंग फीलिंग एंड बिहेवियर इफेक्ट हो जाता है।
या बेसिकली बिहेवियर इफेक्ट हो रहा है इन टोटलिटी में कहें तो, राइट। तो आई विल राइट कॉज, एंड दिस इज ड्यू टू व्हाट, इट इज कॉज ड्यू टू excessive secretion of excess secretion of, ये याद रखना किसके सिक्रीशन से ज्यादा होता है, एक्सेस सिक्रीशन ऑफ डोपामिन। ये इंपॉर्टेंट हो गया डोपामिन। यहां पर क्या होता है इस केस में, सिजोफ्रेनिया के केस में पर्सन इनकोहेरेंट स्पीच पहला सिम्टम, इनकोहेरेंट स्पीच। दूसरा सिम्टम एबनॉर्मल सीक्वेंस ऑफ थॉट, एबनॉर्मल सीक्वेंसेस ऑफ थॉट, पर्सन का जो थॉट प्रोसेस है वो अफेक्ट होता है मेजरली। right? And one more thing, abnormal body posture. बॉडी का जो पोस्चर होता है एबनॉर्मल हो जाता है, टेढ़ा मेढ़ा लगभग ऐसा लगता है, लाइक इंटेंस फियर, वेरी कॉमन, इंटेंस फियर। and the and the last symptom which I'm going to write here, unreal feelings, unreal feelings, right? These are some symptoms of schizophrenia. Now moving to the next part, epilepsy, very common, epilepsy. In case of epilepsy, this is a, we can say it is a neurological disorder, which will write, and it is characterized by the short periodic attack of motor, sensory, and psychological malfunction. So it's a, first of all, we know it, yes, it is a neurological disorder. Neurological disorder. Fine. In this, what happened exactly? It causes short periodic attack. Short periodic attack of motor, sensory, दोनों ही अफेक्ट हो रहे हैं, motor nerves and sensory nerve, and psychological malfunction and psychological malfunction. थिंकिंग एबिलिटी नहीं रहती उस टाइम पर, राइट? रिजल्ट इन लैप्स ऑफ अवेयरनेस, उस पर्सन को बिल्कुल अवेयरनेस नहीं होगा उसके साथ क्या हो रहा है उस टाइम पर। लैप्स ऑफ अवेयरनेस रिजल्ट्स, इट रिजल्ट्स lapses of awareness, and temporary loss of consciousness. थोड़े टाइम के लिए उसको कॉन्शियसनेस भी नहीं रहने वाला, टेम्पररी लॉस ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस। राइट। लिम्स जर्किंग, पैर आपको देखे होंगे कभी पर्सन के लिम्स जो होते हैं जर्क कर रहे होते हैं, दे आर जर्किंग, लिम्स जर्किंग। एंड इनकॉन्टिनेंस मींस बेसिकली ये सिम्टम्स हैं जो अल्टीमेटली एपिलेप्सी के केस में को देखने को मिलते हैं। बहुत सारे रीजंस हैं एपिलेप्सी के। हेड इंजरी हो सकता है, ट्यूमर्स हो सकते हैं ब्रेन में, चाइल्डहुड इन्फेक्शन हो सकता है मीजल्स का एंड मम्स का, वूफिंग कफ का, एंड so there are some causes. So I will write, because this is also important, reasons of epilepsy. I'm writing here reasons of epilepsy. Some reasons of epilepsy. What are the reasons? Number one, I will discuss here. Head injury is one of the reason. Very, very important reason. Very common. Right? Head injuries. Second symptom, second reason may be your tumors of brain. Tumors of brain. Brain tumor की वजह से हो सकता है. And it may be due to childhood infection. Childhood infection. अब childhood infection है किसका? Such as measles, mumps. Mumps is caused by viral mumps virus, right? And whooping cough. Whooping cough. So these are the some basic reasons which include which causes epilepsy. Some drugs are basically used in this case to reduce this difficulty, stimulation को reduce करते हैं basically, and so these are some reasons you should learn them. Epilepsy reason exactly. And one disease I will also discuss with you, Parkinson disease में discuss करना चाहूँगा, then we finish this part. Parkinson disease. What is the Parkinson disease? This is the last disorder exactly. Parkinson's disease. PD कहा जाता है इसको in short. So this is exactly a case basically in this condition. There is progressive decrease or progressive disorder, we should do a disorder, progressive disorder or degeneration of CNS. It's a progressive, धीरे बढ़ता है process, progressive है, progressive. Degeneration कहना better होगा CNS का, progressive degeneration or disorder of CNS, brain and spinal cord, धीरे affect होती है. Mainly it affect at the age of 60 years. Cause इसका known unknown है. At the age of 60 year ये mostly affect होता है. At the age of, जल्दी हो सकता है, depend करता है तो person to person. At the age of 60 मिलता है generally Parkinson's disease. There is a decrease or degeneration of dopamine producing neuron exactly. We can say there is a degeneration of dopamine producing neuron. Decrease or degeneration is better. Decrease or degeneration of डोपामिन. तो डोपामिन के ज्यादा होने से एपिलेप्सी हो जाता है. ठीक है, डोपामिन ज्यादा होने से क्या होता है? देखिए हमारे पास एक और था जिसमें हमने कहा था, क्या याद आ रहा है? एक डिसीज है या सीजोफेरेनिया का, सीजोफेरेनिया, नॉट एपिलेप्सी. एपिलेप्सी तो अलग कंडीशन थी. Schizophrenia. It is due to large amount of dopamine. by the neurons which are secreting them. But just opposite to it, there is a Parkinson disease, PD, when dopamine secretion reduced हो गया. तो dopamine producing neuron decrease होते हैं, the degeneration of dopamine producing neuron. Right? हाँ. Resulting imbalance of neurotransmitter activity. Too little dopamine and too much acetylcholine is thought to be cause. तो इसमें एक तो डोपामिन कम हो रहा है एंड साथ साथ एसिटाइलकोलिन बढ़ रहा है. साथ साथ लिखता हूं increased level of acetylcholine, increased level of acetylcholine. Acetylcholine जानते कहां रिलीज होता है? Where it is released? Acetylcholine न्यूरोमस्कुलर जंक्शन पर. ये भी न्यूरॉन्स की न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर है, ये भी न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर है, दोनों ही न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर्स हैं, एसिटाइलकोलिन एंड योर डोपामिन, बोथ आर न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर. तो एसिटाइलकोलिन का अमाउंट नॉर्मल से बढ़ जाता है एंड और आपका ये जो डोपामिन का अमाउंट है ये कम हो जाता है क्योंकि इसके प्रोड्यूसिंग न्यूरॉन्स का डिजनरेशन होता है और इसके प्रोड्यूसिंग न्यूरॉन का ग्रोथ बढ़ जाती है. सो इस केस में क्या हुआ? It is thought to be cause of that PD patients show involuntary skeletal muscle contraction and called tremor. Parkinson disease also called paralysis agitation भी कहा जाता है इसको, paralysis रहता है and the patient is patient show involuntary skeletal muscle contraction. Patient show involuntary skeletal muscle contraction. Show involuntary skeletal muscle contraction. राइट? चलिए यहां तक हमने कंप्लीट किया अपना ये डिफरेंट डिसऑर्डर्स विच आर एसोसिएटेड विद द ब्रेन मेजरली. Now moving to the sense organs. Moving to the sense organs. Yes. Starting with the first one, which is your human eye. Sense organ. Mammalian eye or human eye. You're starting with this. तो ह्यूमन आई के डायग्राम ड्रॉ करेंगे पहले हम. राइट? तो सबसे पहले आई का डायग्राम देखिए, उसके बाद डिस्कशन आगे बाकी पार्ट का रहेगा. यही दो पार्ट आप रह गए, ह्यूमन आई और ईयर. चैप्टर फिनिश्ड. सी सबसे पहले लेयर्स बनाएंगे हम लोग. ये पूरा जो आई बॉल बन रहा है हमारा, दिस इज आई बॉल लाइक दिस. लाइक दिस आई बॉल से आई नर्व्स बाहर निकल रही हैं. तो सबसे पहले चलते हैं आउटर मोस्ट लेयर स्केलेरा पर. तो स्केलेरा यहां से ये लेयर हमने स्केलेरा बना लिया. लाइक दिस. राइट? दिस इज स्केलेरा. आउटर मोस्ट लेयर है. like this is color exactly. तो सबसे पीछे की तरफ हम लिखेंगे इसको स्केलरा, दिस इज स्केलरा. आउटरमोस्ट लेयर ऑफ द आई स्केलरा. अब ये स्केलरा जो बाहर की तरफ आगे की तरफ क्या बनाता है, यू कैन सी इट इज फॉर्मिंग योर कॉर्निया. तो यहां पे इसको कॉर्निया कहा जाता है, ट्रांसपेरेंट होता है ये कॉर्निया. कॉर्निया हो गया ये, ठीक है. अब देखिए अंदर वाला, इसके जस्ट स्केलरा के अंदर तक एक और लेयर होगा, दैट इज कोरोइड. कोरोइड, तो कोरोइड लेयर बना लेते हैं हम लोग. कोरोइड, राइट. ये हमारा लेयर जो है कोरोइड आ गया, लाइक दिस. दिस इज कोरोइड. ये पोर्शन कितना है, कोरोइड वाला हो गया. तो दो लेयर कंप्लीट हो गई, कोरोइड हो गया हमारा और स्केलरा हो गया. इनरमोस्ट लेयर पे आइए, रेटिना. रेटिना इज इनरमोस्ट लेयर. तो ये रेटिना बना लेते हैं हम लोग. दिस इज योर रेटिना. Like this. So this is the third layer, retina. Outermost layer sclera, middle layer choroid, innermost layer retina. Fine, right? तो अब इस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट पे यू कैन सी दिस इज द फोविया सेंट्रलिस. इसको मैं डिनोट कर देता हूं, दिस इज योर फोविया सेंट्रलिस. दिस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट, फोविया, वी कॉल इट फोविया. सेंट्रलिस बीच में सेंट्रल डिप्रेशन है, दैट इज फोविया सेंट्रलिस कहते हैं इसको. अब फोविया सेंट्रलिस क्या होता है, बेसिकली यहां पर आपको रेटिना में दो तरह की लेयर्स होती हैं. बेसिकली दो तरह की सेल्स होती हैं रेटिना में, रॉड सेल्स होती हैं, कोन सेल्स होती हैं. रॉड सेल्स एंड कोन सेल्स. तो रॉड सेल्स, कोन सेल्स वर प्रेजेंट इन होल रेटिना and they are responsible for viewing, means rod cells are responsible for dim light vision. It have rhodopsin pigment, and cone cells are having ionopsin pigment, and that is why it's responsible for colorful vision. But at the fovea centralis, we have a particular reason. At this depression, we have only your cone cells, no rod cells. So most bright vision occur in this part exactly. So fovea centralis having your only cone cells, having only cone cells. याद रखिएगा, we'll discuss. Now next part. So retina done, fovea centralis done, sclera done, choroid done. This particular region is called vitreous chamber. We call it vitreous chamber. This is your vitreous chamber. Vitreous chamber. Right? So vitreous chamber is this. Jelly like होता है. This whole structure is vitreous chamber. And now talking, we'll study this particular part. Ciliary body बनाते हैं पहले, ciliary body. So we'll draw the ciliary body here. Ciliary body, see this part. So from this particular region, you will find this kind of structure. Like this. This particular region is your ciliary body. Right. So we call it ciliary body, writing here. विजन थोड़ा डार्क होगा इसलिए इसको मैं कलर वाइट से लिख देता हूँ. Ciliary body. And ciliary body के just ऊपर की तरफ we will have a iris. यहाँ से iris develop होगा. This is your iris. आई के जितने भी कलर्स होते हैं बेसिकली ब्राउन कलर आई, रेड कलर आई, दैट इज ड्यू टू दिस आइरिस. That is due to this iris. So this is iris. Right. Color of the eye is due to this iris. अब यहाँ पे देखिए basically we have at this particular part a lens is present. See the diagram of the lens. I will draw like this. The lens is located like this. Okay, this is the lens exactly. It is held like this. Ligaments होते हैं जो held करते हैं. And this is the lens exactly. ये हमारा हो गया lens, which is basically responsible for the focusing the light which is coming inside, the focusing of light on the retina. Image formations के लिए responsible है. अब you can see this particular region here. I have particular region. This is a chamber. This chamber is called aqueous chamber. It is called aqueous chamber. So this is your aqueous chamber. पहले वाला vitreous chamber था. Now this is aqueous chamber. Right. So this is your aqueous chamber. Iris हो गया, cornea हो गया, ciliary body हो गया. Here we have ligaments हो गए, lens हो गया, vitreous chamber हो गया, retina, choroid, sclera हो गया, fovea centralis हो गया. Now this particular point. At this particular point we don't have any kind of. यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा हम बढ़ा सकते हैं, थोड़ा कलर अगर दें तो it will be like this. इस तरह से कर सकते हो आप इसको थोड़ा सा. And यहाँ actually इस particular point पर blood vessels, nerve supply is entering, optic nerve is entering here, blood supply is entering here from this particular region. So I will say optic nerve. तो draw कर लेते हैं optic nerve को. Optic nerve is like this. So this is your optic nerve. Optic nerve is entering here. right? So nerve supply is entering here and leaving it, as well as blood supply is entering and leaving from this particular part. Blood supply is also entering. Blood supply, lymph supply is entering. Blood supply is here. Lymph supply is also here, right? Lymph supply is also here. So at this particular region, you can see there is no reason at all. No reason at all. Means only the blood supply, lymph supply, nerve supply is entering or leaving. So at this particular site, we don't have any reason. There is no image formation takes place at this particular site. So we can say at this region, we don't have any image. So we call it as what? Blind spot. This is your blind spot. So on the blind spot, no image formation takes place. No image formation takes place on the blind spot. So this is the diagram of human eye, which is a basic point which is given here, which is, and one more point I want to discuss here with you. There is a canal of Charlemagne, which is coming from this region, which is a blind spot, not blind spot. That there is a blood vessel which is coming, and into your vitreous chamber. This is known as canal of Charlemagne. This canal of Charlemagne carrying the fluid from this aqueous chamber into the vitreous chamber. When this canal of Charlemagne, which is the connection between the aqueous and vitreous chamber, it get blocked. If it get blocked, that means the in the your aqueous chamber, the flow of fluid is increased, but it's not coming into the vitreous chamber. So pressure on the aqueous chamber increased because more and more aqueous fluid is forming in this part, and when it is not coming to the vitreous chamber, so because of blocking of the canal of Charlemagne, which is the connection between these two parts, so pressure on this part increases, and this create a pressure on this vitreous chamber as well. And when the pressure increases on this vitreous chamber due to the aqueous chamber, a simple pressure create on the optic nerve. And if this increases or persists for a longer time period, it will cause damage to the optic nerve, and the person will not able to see anything. And this condition is called black cataract, or we call it glaucoma. So glaucoma is a disorder of the eye, human eye, and it is basically due to the blocking of canal of Charlemagne, which is a connection between the aqueous chamber and vitreous chamber, right? And when we talk about your white cataract, it is simply the on the membrane there is a cloudy membrane formation takes place on the lens, so it can be easily cleaned or replacement of lenses takes place. But in case of black cataract glaucoma, there is a no perfect solution for it. Only the lifetime medicines should be taken, or operation maybe, but it's not successful exactly. So this is human eye exactly. Now talking about one by one its parts. First, starting with the your fibrous outermost coat, that is your sclera, what is called sclerotic coat or fibrous tunic. ठीक है, तो चलो इसको स्टडी करते हैं वन बाय वन. See, तो starting with the sclerotic coat. Coat, which is called as fibrous tunic, means it's a fibrous in nature, so we call it fibrous tunic. Tunic means layer. It's a fibrous tunic means layer, right? So first we can say it is made up of hard and thick connective tissue. So this sclera or sclerotic coat is composed of what? It is composed of hard, thick connective tissue. Composed of hard, and thick connective tissue. Right? It is divided in two parts basically. The sclera is divided in two parts. Number one cornea, which is the, and the second one is your sclera. Cornea आगे की तरफ होता है, sclera पीछे की तरफ होता है, ठीक है? तो sclerotic coat is divided into two part. ये two part हैं. What are these two parts? First one is your cornea, and the second one is your sclerotic, sclera. We call it sclera. Right? ये दो part हो गए, sclera and cornea. So first start with the cornea. In case of cornea, it is outermost, outer visible part of the fibrous tunic. It is what? Outer visible part. Outer visible part. जो बाहर से देख पाते हो आप लोग, है ना? जो आई दिख रही है आपको बाहर से, that is outer visible part. And this outer visible part is cornea. It is covered by non-keratinized squamous epithelium. Covered by non-keratinized. Keratin is not there. Non-keratinized. Right? It's a non-keratinized stratified epithelium. Stratified squamous epithelium. Stratified means multiple layer. Squamous, you people know. Squamous epithelium. Right? So remember this point. It's made up of stratified squamous epithelium, which is non-keratinized. It allows light rays to enter inside the eye, right? And is most refractive portion of the eye as well. Surface of cornea is kept moist and dust-free by the secretion of tear gland. So we should know this cornea is cleaned with the help of secretion of the tear gland. Cornea is transparent. It's कैसा होता है? Cornea is transparent होता है ये. It's a transparent. ठीक है? And basically cornea transplantation will take place. तो it's very important कि cornea transplantation possible है, आसानी से हो जाता है. So I'm writing here that yes, cornea transplantation is successful because reasons का ये cornea वहाँ blood supply नहीं होती है. तो cornea किसी का भी किसी में लगा दीजिए, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Transplantation is successful. और रीजन क्या है इसका? रीजन ये है कि नो ब्लड सप्लाई, इट लैक ब्लड वेसल्स. रीजन ये होगा, लैक ब्लड वेसल्स. Is it clear now? Now moving to the next part, that is your sclerotic part, यानी sclera. Sclera, or we call it a sclerotic part. Sclerotic part or sclera. Right. So it is made of this sclera or sclerotic part is the part of the outermost layer, tunic, outermost sclerotic coat tunic, which is located behind, which you people cannot see from outside. So we can say, yes, it is made up of white. It's made of white, hard, opaque, fibrous connective tissue, made up of white of eye भी कहते हैं इसको, white, hard, opaque, ठीक है, opaque, thick fibrous connective tissue, opaque. thick fibrous connective tissue. Thick fibrous connective tissue. Fine. But in case of human, it is made up of connective tissue, which is opaque and thick. But in case of frog, it is made up of cartilage. So its inner portion of the eye, we know it is inner portion of eye. It's non-vascularized again. It's a non-vascularized. Means again, though no blood vessels are here, non-vascularized. This layer is also called as white of the eye. It's white of eye भी कहते हैं exactly. तो स्कर्टिक कोड को हम यहाँ लिख देते हैं white of eye भी कहा जाता है इसको. White of eye, white color होने की वजह से कहते हैं white of eye कहते हैं इसमें. And this part of eye is mesodermal origin. Mesodermal in origin. ये क्वेश्चन आया था इसलिए यहाँ डिस्कस कर रहा हूँ. It's a mesodermal in origin पहले काफी. Because if we're talking about the three layers, ectodermal, mesodermal, endodermal, so this part, sclerotic part, is developed from the mesodermal layer origin. Inner layer of eyelid, the inner layer of eyelid stretches over the anterior part of sclera and is called the conjunctiva. So what is conjunctiva? ये स्क्लेरा का ही पार्ट है एग्जैक्टली जो आईलिड के पास में स्ट्रेच होता है, दैट इज द कंजक्टिवा. एंड देयर इज द थिनेस्ट एपिडर्मिस ऑफ एनिमल बॉडी. सबसे पतला एपिडर्मिस है एनिमल बॉडी में कंजक्टिवा. सो आई एम राइटिंग वन पॉइंट हियर, कंजक्टिवा रिलेटिंग टू इट. What is this exactly? Inner layer of eyelid. It's a inner layer of eyelid. Right? Eyelid ka inner layer stretches over the anterior part of sclera. Stretches over inner part of या एंटीरियर पार्ट कहूं बेटर है, ओवर एंटीरियर, आई के आगे की तरफ है ना एंटीरियर पार्ट, एंटीरियर पार्ट ऑफ स्केलेरा. राइट. कंजक्टिवा थिनेस्ट एपिडर्मिस. कैसा है ये? थिनेस्ट एपिडर्मिस है. इट्स अ थिनेस्ट एपिडर्मिस इन एनिमल बॉडी. हम लोगों में वेस्टिजियल है ये. राइट. नाउ मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट, दैट इज योर, आज इतना ही रखते हैं बिकॉज टाइम इज डन. तो नेक्स्ट क्लास वी विल डिस्कस द नेक्स्ट लेयर, दैट वुड बी कोरोइड एंड देन मूव टू द रेटिना. रेटिना इज 5 sensory as well. Rod cells and cone cells we will discuss, lens focusing, and then we move to the working of principle of eye, and then it's finished. Chemistry, light vision, एक flow chart पढ़ेंगे. Then we study some defects of the eye, that is hypermetropia and metropia, cataract, and glaucoma we have discussed today. Glaucoma is a कालिया मोतिया बिंग we have discussed, and cataract today we have discussed सफेद मोतिया. तो एक एक पॉइंट लेके खत्म करेंगे. Then move to the ear. तो I think tomorrow it would be almost finishing condition में होगा ही हमारे पास. आई तो खत्म हो जाएगा and then last ear. So within 2 class, not more than 2 class, this chapter will be finished and move to the hormone wala part. Chalo, all the best. See you in the next class. Till then, keep on learning, keep on preparing and revising as well, because those people who revise will be successful. So revision is most important part of the journey. Bye, bachcho.